What's going on, everyone? So, the upcoming I Know What You Did Last Summer is a sequel that is going to get another sequel. And I'll never forget what you did last summer. We got that information from Production Weekly that revealed, like, hey, we're getting, several just new horror films and sequels. We're getting a Scream 8 and, a sequel to this sequel of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, the thing that I want to talk about in this video is, are they going to set up a bigger kind of storyline, right? Because you go back to like the original, right? And it was very simple, very straightforward. Kids kill somebody or think that they kill somebody, leave them for dead, right? That person comes back for revenge to kill. Boom. Simple, straightforward. There you go. All right. Well, this upcoming film is looking, as far as we know, like it's going to follow at least a similar plot point. Group of kids run somebody off the road, leave them for dead, and then all of a sudden bodies start dropping. Okay, fine. Well, in the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the sequel to the original, it was still Ben Willis, who still was alive, survived, and was out for revenge. But this time the twist was it was his son, right? Will Benson, right? Get it, Ben's son type thing, right? So to me, I look at it and go, okay, do they go that route again and kind of just like, because that's also been a real trend in Hollywood, which I can't stand, where it's like, oh, let's just kind of remake the original films, but not call it a remake, right? The recent Scream films have done that, which is very unfortunate because I'm a big Scream guy, right? But that's what they've done. They've done this thing where it's like, okay, let's remake Scream 5 and Scream 6, right? And it's just, yeah, they did some things different, but for the most part, like, it was very similar, very, even the motives and all that stuff, right? I don't want to see them do that with I Know What You Did Last Summer, right? So to me, I'm all for if you did something where you set up and establish a more grander storyline that can easily transition and bleed into the next film, right? And it doesn't have to be like, it's not something where it's like, oh, you have to set up and really kind of like, and it just kind of is this drawn out story that kind of builds throughout the course of this film that really pays off in, the next one. No, like, you can still have, a conclusive kind of wrapped in a bow type film here. You can still do a lot of the same things that you want to do, or that you would expect them to do. But I'd like to have, even if it's just like an underlining story or, like the killer backstory or whatever, right? Like, I'd like something that easily pivots into the next installment, assuming that it's going to be a continued story, right? Like, unless they just, like, hey, here's this one. This is the end of the Julian Ray arc, and now we're just going to go new group of characters, new story, new everything. Like, if they do something like that, but with it being, I'll never forget what you did last summer, right? Like, it kind of sounds to me like it's going to tie into whoever survives this film and what they did that one summer, right? Like, that's kind of how, based on the title. Now, could they change the title? Could that just be kind of the working title? Sure, right? Like, there's a million ways that this could go, but to me, I look at it and I just like, I'm hoping at least that this is, yes, it's the beginning, but it's like, hey, we're gonna set up this like continuity story, right? We're gonna set up something to where it's not just kind of random and all over the place, and it's like, oh, okay, well, now it's just, here's this straightforward thing. Like, if you're gonna do multiple sequels, which again, that's in the era that we're in. We're in this era of everything's got to be a trilogy if you can get there, right? If things have success, you're getting a new one, right? So if that's the route, and obviously they're confident in this first film, and they have to have an idea and a story, right? That they want to continue, because they already have a sequel in the works before this film even comes out, right? So like, they're already putting the cart before the horse. So I would imagine that means that there is a story that they want to tell, and that is going to continue and transition to the next film, right? Because it's kind of hard to, like, are you just going to have multiple separated films, right? Is that your plan? Like, Or like each killer going to be different, right? Like, is the same person just going to like run two separate people off the road or something like that? Right? Like, let's say, two or three of these characters survive. Okay, fine. So, like, is the killer coming back for revenge? Is it different killers? Is it, is it like a family type thing? And like they took out the mother and father, and now, the son and the daughter are coming for them, right? Like, how are they going to approach this? How are they going to go about this? And I think the best route would be to have just like a straightforward, here is, a story that continues the way that I Know What You Did Last Summer ends, has for a clean transition right into I'll Never Forget What You Did Last Summer. Again, you could still have some conclusiveness. You could still have where you think the killer dies, and then at the end they show up, or our main characters believe that the job is finished, but really we as an audience know that it's not. I mean, I Know What You Did Last Summer has always kind of ended on a cliffhanger, right? They just been kind of written off as Julie's dreams or nightmares, but they've always kind of ended on a cliffhanger. And then I mean, the killer, like I said, the killer survived in I Know What You Did Last Summer, and there was thoughts of like, okay, did they survive and I still know type thing, right? Like, and we did get a third film, but sorry if you saw that one, because that had like nothing to do. Like, that was just awful, right? So for a long time, you had this like speculation, like, okay, well, did they really die? Was that really happened? Was that a nightmare, right? And then now fast forward to this installment, obviously it was a nightmare because Julie and Ray are alive and, well, and, I don't imagine Ben Willis is 90 running around killing everybody. So it's got to be new characters, new killers, new everything. Okay, well then have that story, have whatever you're setting up, have that make sense, that to where you can transition into the next film and set up like a more grander version for the next route, right? Have the killer, have a story that is easy to pick back up, right? They're putting the cart before the horse. You got to have a blueprint in place. You got to have a plan in place. And I just feel like this kind of feels to me like, okay, they're setting up for something bigger. That this is going to be a bigger, film in hindsight when we look back. Now, it might not, but that's just kind of what I gather from it. Because again, why else would you put the cart before the horse, right? Why else would you already, why would you already have a sequel in the works ready to go if you didn't have a more grander scheme for what you wanted to do that would take multiple films, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Phil, what are your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. I would feel whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.